I waited a long time to get it, and I've already owned it for 6 months. How do I like it so far? I can reveal that there are 2 areas I'm a bit unsure about. Alright, I'm Cohen, and today I'm doing a follow-up video on my Rolex Datejust 126200. I've owned it for 6 months now. Next, I'll do a 1-year status on my Pelagos 39. I keep changing my mind on that watch. This mint green Datejust, on the other hand, is in many ways just as I expected and hoped for. Please comment your perfect Datejust iteration or tag me in a picture on Instagram. When I received the call in June, I was over the moon because it was just in time for my wedding on the French Riviera. I waited for about 16 months, which was what the AD anticipated, but not me. When I ordered the Rolex GMT Master 2 a few years back, I only waited 9 months. And that watch is in much higher demand. I have a good relationship with my AD, so I asked. They told me that their policy was that they wanted to, after a certain point of purchasing history and window shopping, grant the wishes of the first-time Rolex buyers, and that the second Rolex might take more time. Nice gesture in my book. They also told me that shipments and deals with Rolex varies from model line to model line. The Pepsi, for example, which I'm afraid will be discontinued in the spring of 2024, is a hard watch to get, but harder than both Rolex and the AD wants it to be. The AD got promised a certain amount that calendar year, which Rolex fails to deliver. Don't shoot the messenger, people of Watchtown. The same goes for other sports models like the Submariner, for example, which is easier to get than both the GMT Master 2 and the Daytona these days, and the AD gets it in higher volumes every year. To clarify, if you didn't already know, Rolex are allegedly struggling to reproduce the Pepsi bezel in a way which always gives the same result. They can spot differences in the shade of colours in the red, especially blended with the blue. This Datejust, however, is different, easier to get in many ways, but the delivery was a bit in the dark. It didn't work in the same way as the high-demand sports models. During my wait, I was able to adjust my preferences. What started off with a black dial and an oyster ended up with a green dial on a Jubilee. I opted for the Jubilee because I at some point want both. And when I asked my AD for a Jubilee for my Batman, which I received on an oyster, he told me that I was lucky, because it doesn't work the other way round. They weren't allowed to order in an oyster bracelet if you already had chosen the Jubilee, but the opposite was fine. Make sense of it if you can. By the way, I never got to know if that was the case for the Datejust 2, so make sure you ask if you're in doubt. I'm not a fluted bezel guy. If I had chosen a precious metal option, then the case would be something else. But I wanted something for my everyday, which is a bit classic, sporty, and versatile. The 126200 feels robust. The 904L steel is a bit more shiny than regular steel watches from other luxury brands. I haven't got the opinion that it scratches easier yet, and I don't wear my watches with over-regular care. I rock, bump and wear. The steel and construction is a beautiful symphony. The sounds it makes dingling in your hands are closer to soothing than rattling. The Jubilee gives the 36mm more presence, surely, so it's fair to wear with the plain white tee as well as a dressed up style attire, and it's as comfy as they say, but my personal opinion is that the oyster bracelet looks better. The timepiece sits perfect on my 16.5cm wrist. It lays on top of my wrist and doesn't overhang my wrist in any way. The clasp is snug, small and solid with a 5mm extension option. Works sublime. The two things I'm not 100% about are the green dial or sunburst as a thing. Is it me? I feel sunburst as a design element looks quite shallow, if that makes sense. Especially in cold colourways like this mint green. I love it in dim light or normal setting, but in bright daylight I feel, well, I'm not sure yet. I'll update you after 8 months, so make sure you subscribe, like and comment. Christmas spirit, right? Thank you so much. The other thing is the bezel. My friend has the 41mm version, which shows off a flat bezel ring. This 36mm has what Rolex call a domed bezel. The pro is obviously that it's harder to scratch, but the flat option makes it look more sporty and slick, as the 41mm version or the Explorer 1 in that case. As a model line, I adore the Datejust more than any other current Rolex in the catalogue. Robust and beautiful, heritage and versatility, and not everybody has it. I'm just not sure if I chose the right dial. I can purchase a new one after 5 years when the guarantee runs out, but that's a long wait. And purchasing it somewhere else and having it mounted at my AD would deprive my guarantee privileges. Well, that's it for this week's video. Have a nice week, watch fam.